Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 14 of the EGF series. Today, we are the University of Hawaii at Manoa versus Marquette University over down in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's been a very interesting sort of week. Last week in the EGF series, we did see Manoa take down the University of North Arizona pretty decisively. I think it was a pretty interesting roundabout as well. But I'm here joined by Lit today. Lit, how are we feeling about these two teams?
Well, if you look at the standings on EGF, this is certainly going to be favored for the University of Hawaii. If we look at their map record right now, University of Hawaii has a +6, 3 wins and 1 loss, and Marquette University yet to put a win on the board yet, but this could be their week, and they're going to be looking to make to put a W on the scoreboard. They are currently 0-4, so it's still relatively early in the season. They're going to have a lot of time to bounce back, but they're going to be facing a tough opponent this time around.
I mean, down in Milwaukee, we all know how things are important there. We got the cheese in Wisconsin. Everyone know how important that is for there. And honestly, if Marquette it wants to get out of that 0-4 slump, I feel like they're gonna need to start going a lot in a little bit of the cheese direction. Maybe a little bit of some Gouda in there, some Parmesan, some mozzarella, or maybe even if they want to borrow some things down south, Oaxaca
That
cheese.
that would actually just be such a strat if all of their teams just were built around really cheesy comps. So I'm talking like the Roadhogs, the Farmercies, the Bastion comps, just as cheesy as you can get it, and they just lean into it. I'd love
It's
to see it. But
and
speaking of
Yeah, speaking of that cheese, last week we did see, at least from Manoa, a lot of the cheese comps. We saw a lot of the Junkrat being played, and I think we do have just a little bit of a DPS lineup change compared to last week. Akamai is not going to be playing. We are going to be rolling with Wombology today instead. Do you think that's going to shake things up, or do you think we're still going to be in the same range as we are last week?
I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. I mean, Wombology very well acclimated to playing with this team. Wombology, of course, ringing for Akamai or perhaps subbing, but was playing on their main roster last semester, and so they're definitely going to be comfortable playing with Wombology. It's not going to be a huge adjustment. However, as far as hero pools, there can sometimes be a little bit of overlap between Akamai and Wombology. Wombology tends to lean more towards the Tracer, and we do see him picking up the Tracer here as they go
I,
into this dive comp here. And yeah, I think having that Tracer is going to be it's gonna serve them well for these Winston comps that it looks like they're going to be running out here on Oasis. Um, and it's I think what we're also going to see is River participating in those dives a lot. These supports really don't have to peel for each other all that much. We see Lucio and we see Kiriko. They can really just kind of keep to themselves, which allows Kiriko to play for really aggressive teleports with the Winston and with the Tracer. And of course, something I haven't seen from Sei in a long time, the Echo.
we are going to see a duel in the skies from between Sei and Reach. It's something that we don't see very often, but we do see a lot of picks being made towards the farmer. See the sky. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of things are going to be moving in that direction. A very nice aviation battle of sorts, but on the ground that we see the Winston touching on for stomps. A little bit of the difference between the Winston and the Junker Queen, as we do see the University of Hawaii taking a little bit of a split approach, as Wombology is taken down by Royal Ranger of Marquette University, drawing the first blood. The point is flipping a little bit back and forth, but we do see a bit of a dominance from Marquette on there, as they're but University of Manoa is pushing a little bit on the Junker Queen, but it seems that they were not able to focus it hard enough, as Sei is taking down Squid. Reach is also taking down Banana, but in turn, Sei is still dominating in the aviation scene. Junker Queen is going to be making a bit of an attack on the ground, using the Carnage to try and get a little bit more onto that Winston, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be doing just enough. Stomps is going to be staying on the ground, but Wombology and Sei are going to be there to take down, do a little bit of cleanup help with River. Point A so far is going to be taken by Manoa.
Wombology there took a little bit of a long flank and didn't quite time it correctly with the Winston, but luckily Sei was able to take out both the Pharah and the Mercy. The dynamic that we're going to be seeing here, and looks like they're switching off of the Pharah, so yeah, that's probably a good call because One of the main problems with playing Pharah into Echo is that Echo has a lot more precise air control. Even without the Mercy there, it's going to be very easy for them to pick off your Mercy from mid-air because she's going to be spending so much time, and you're going to be very vulnerable to the Echo fly. But we see this next fight kicking off right here.
Do see another fight kicking off as Reach for Help is taking out Matthew, as Wombology is taking off Zippy for Marquette University. Both Kiriko ults are going to be used on the field as the Kitsune rushes are going to be clashing, and the Rampage is used by Stomp, but I don't think it really reached anything. He just was not in good enough position to make it out. Looks like Wombology is going to be doing a little bit of cleanup onto Squid, as Royal Ranger is also falling very low himself. Looks like the nice cleanse is going to be used, but I don't think it's going to matter too much, as Stomps is going to be able to get Banana Lumpia, but the Reaper is on the copy. We know how fast Echo can build those ultimates as Sei takes down Stomp. The Kiriko is still on the point, and Dance of Death is made, but it is taken out very soon, but it doesn't matter. Royal Ranger is not able to take it out quick enough. Manoa is going to be sticking onto the point.
The Kiriko ult invested to get both the Kiriko ult and the Echo ult is a good trade for Marquette University. As you can see on this point, that center spire is going to be huge in stalling out this point when you have control of it, which is why getting that first capture on Oasis is crucial, making sure that you can hold on to it as long as possible, because you can just stall for such a long time, and especially on a comp that gets back as quickly as the Winston dive, you're definitely going to need it, and University of Hawaii have put themselves in a great position to take it to overtime.
Ooh, I don't know about how that jump off the point a little bit so soon. They just were not in good of a position for Marquette to take an engagement. Zippy is going to be able to take down Banana Lumpia with that nice dead eye, but it doesn't look like a whole lot else is being done. Hawaii still has a lot big presence on the point. Sure, they are missing their nice key Lucio ult, but I don't think it's really going to matter all that much. Rivergod is going to be taking down Zippy as Reach is going to try to look on, but he does not have the Death Blossom just yet. Death Blossom is online, but Sei is going to be there to take down Squid. A key source of healing from Marquette being taken down. The Dance of Death is used, but it does not do anything. That nice sound barrier is there to clean up. A lot of Wombology is there to take down Reach for Help, and Sei is there to take Royal Ranger and Matthew, like, cleaning it up. And it didn't look like Marquette had a whole lot there on point A.
Clean sweep there for the University of Hawaii, but that's just how that point goes sometimes. As you can see, that the Cassidy actually picked up, or Zippy picked up the first kill with the Deadeye, but you need a clean fight win in order to turn over City Center on Oasis. It's just so crucial, because if you get just one, it's very easy to kind of go back and forth when you have control of the point. You can play off of so much natural cover, and it's so hard to clean everyone if you're not getting a full clean sweep. And we have a pause in the lobby.
I think something a little interesting too, as we are navigating through this pause, is just a little bit. That Junker Queen play between from Stomps just was not able to match up with Mattsealer or the rest of the dive comp coming out from Manoa. Junker Queen can play a very effective my mistake, a very effective brawl, but it seemed like they wanted to bunker down just a little bit, but I feel like there's a bit of miscommunication between the tank and the healer department.
It can be really difficult to get value with this Junker Queen, especially when you're running a DPS as vulnerable as Cassidy. You know, that magnetic grenade isn't quite enough to stop an entire push from a Winston or from any dive, really. And that's why I think it was good that Reach tried to play the Reaper there, because Reaper definitely can withstand that pressure a little bit better and does combo better with Junker Queen, but right now Junker Queen just struggles to get value with the re-engage. What made her so strong in early season 1 of Overwatch 2 was that she had I believe it was 100 HP from her shout, and so she could essentially just draw out so many cooldowns and take so much damage with AoE effect like Inspire, like Crossfade, and you could just reverse or revert all of that those cooldowns that you take in with just one shout, and then you keep the fight going for longer, you replenish your health pool, and you can kind of repeat that process. And that's why so many teams are running that. But with only 50 HP being granted with the shout cry, it's really difficult to maintain that level of presence. You don't hold your ground as heavily as you would have with the 100 health buff, and so it's difficult to outlast a Winston comp.
And also keep in mind, Matt Steeler was there playing the Winston, and if you have a Primal Rage Winston in your face bumping around the rest of the team, you're not going to be able to give that shout to the rest of your allies that you need them to. especially if you have all these other dive targets constantly whipping around and swirling around, the less mobile units that Marquette has, it seems maybe that there just is not enough cheese in the supply there for them to take it out. I know we did joke a little bit at the beginning with a little bit of the cheese comp, but it does seem to be Marquette's bread and cheese, not bread and butter, keep in mind.
Of course, of
But
course.
but I'm gonna be a little bit interested to see as we are still navigating through the pause just a little bit, just a bit of a monitor issue on Manoa's side. I am gonna be a little bit interested to see if potentially you're gonna swap off the Junker Queen or if Stomps is gonna keep trying to throw down, trying to make it work.
You really just have to, in order to make this Junker Queen work, you really have to play tight. You have to play as a group and play more heroes that are lended towards grouping up, so you can get the most value out of that shout mid fight. And I think another thing is that the cooldowns that they're, well, just the staying power that both teams have. They're mirroring the Lucio Kiriko on both sides, so they're gonna have essentially the same effective health pool, but with the Winston barrier, yeah, you're blocking hundreds of damage, whereas with Shout, you're getting a max 250, and that's it. You're just gonna have way less staying power, so you have to get a pick very quickly. And you see that they actually are getting the first pick on the side of Marquette. They're getting the first pick most of the time, but they're
But
just not really able to follow through off of that pick because they're just so depleted of their resources by the time they get it that Say is able to trade it off for one or even two on the back line, and they just don't really have the firepower to stay in the fight at that point.
it's like every time you're in a ranked game and you're just saying, guys, I gotta pick. I gotta pick. Please go in. It seems exactly like that from Marquette University. They were getting picks at the front, one, sometimes two piece, but there just was not a re-engagement from a lot of things on the side of Marquette. I really want to see too, because also keep in mind, they were starting out on the Pharah, and just it was matching up a little bit differently to the Echo play.
Yeah, and it it's, I mean, the Pharah is a risky rollout on the start, just because it can it it can be counter swapped, and especially on in Overwatch 2 where you can maintain 25% ultimate charge, it's really easy for someone to go into a Pharah matchup, play the fight out, get your 25%, and then swap off to a hero after a clean fight loss. But as we saw there, really unfortunate for Marquette that that Say actually rolled out on the Echo, which is a really, I mean, not the strongest counter, but a decently good matchup for
I do
Echo.
I do like this pick though. The Sigma being played from Stomp. Sigma potentially having a lot of different things on the point. Especially look at the comps that we see here. They are going to be playing just a little bit more of a bunker as they are going to be diving a bit. Matthew taking a nice rock to the face. Say is taking down Squid on the Brigitte. As we see now, Matthew looking to potentially line up that nice jump as they are all stuck in the corner over there for Marquette. Marquette is going to be just doving a little bit, but River God gets the boop with that nice cleanse. Zippy is going to take down Say as Say takes down Royal Ranger, but Matt Dealer is just going to be there to clean up the rest of the fight. First capture, or second capture, I'm sorry, goes to Manoa.
I hope you got your screenshots in chat. That is a very rare kill icon. The Suzu actually getting the environmental kill knockoff. And that's going to contribute to River getting their ultimate pretty quickly here, especially with Squid going down so early in the fight. So they're going to be ahead in the support ultimates department, but right now we just see Wombology posting up, taking some chip damage and not committing too much. And let's see what they get in this rotate through hookah.
We are going to see a bit of a rotate as the nice sticky bombs are going to be used by Say. Matt Dealer is taking a rocket asleep to the face, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. But however, Zippy is going to be answering back to make sure to put me in the grave with that Say. Say is going to take down Squid Insane, but Zippy from Marquette is going to be there to do a lot of damage. Reach is making sure he's not any silent either. Sigma is going to be putting a lot more pressure onto the Kiriko, as Say is not going to be in the skies in order to do a little bit of damage. Nice Suzu is going to be used in order to keep a little bit of the cleanse, as Reach and Zippy are going to be there to clean up the rest of the point.
And a very timely fight win for Marquette University. We see so close, so many University of Hawaii ultimates were just about to come online, and if they waited just a little bit longer, University of Hawaii would have had the ultimates to respond. So great initiative being taken by Marquette University as they post up for this next fight.
Oh, do look at the ultimate pools between Marquette and Manoa. Manoa is gonna have 3 ultimates, potentially 4 coming online, while Marquette only has 1, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be able to be taken advantage as OneBallOgy gets a nice 2-piece with a pulse bomb. Say is gonna be there with a nice beam in order to finish off Zippy as Reach for help was taken down. He's certainly reaching for something.
One for the highlight reel is OneBallOgy very comfortably incorporating himself back into this this roster. Yeah, making, you know, making good company while Akamai is away.
I think there's also a very big difference here, is that OneBallOgy is just there zipping around, and the only thing they really have to answer for that Tracer is going to be that Ana sleep dart, but Ana can only be in so many different places at once. We're going to see a big leap onto the Sojourn and to the Ana for Marquette. River God is going to be there to take down Squid, as OneBallOgy is there to clean up Zippy as well. That copy is going to be used onto the Sojourn. We're going to get those railgun charges super quickly, as it doesn't look like Marquette is going to be able to stake their foothold on the point any longer. We are at 87 seconds and counting down.
And we are just seeing this play out in full force. I mean, one of the biggest differences, in my opinion, between Akamai and OneBallOgy is that Akamai is very consistent, very calm, collected player, playing a lot of the heavy aim-intensive heroes. But what we saw there from OneBallOgy can be very hot and cold. I mean, when he's not playing super well, it can be a little bit quiet from his Tracer. But as we saw there, when he's feeling himself, he is absolutely feeling himself, and we're going to take a look at this play of the game right here.
Oh, we're about to see a clean pulse bomb being made, and it didn't even stick onto anyone. It was just thrown in the middle of the basket, looking like they were searching for the nice little piece of cheese on the end of the charcuterie board, but it looks like instead of a nice piece of cheese, they ended up finding a nice fistful of face.
Well, that cheese was right on top of a big rat trap right there, and OneBallOgy picking up 3 clean kills. And that's the thing about Tracer Pulse Bomb, is that you don't always have to get the stick. I mean, yes, getting the stick is good, but sometimes just landing it in a big cluster of people where the backline can't exactly see where the pulse bomb is. I mean, when you're stuck, you know it's on you. You can stand still. Everyone can move away. You can tell your team, "Hey, get away from me." But sometimes the indicator, it can get a little bit ambiguous as to what side it's on, and especially in a high pressure situation like that, maybe you're not paying attention, and it can be just as effective. You know, throwing it right on the ground and at the center of both supports, and they fall right into it. So great play from OneBallOgy regardless. And
Also,
it looks like our next map that we're going to be going into is Blizzard World.
do keep in mind too is that the big reason that OneBallOgy was able to get that pulse mob is because Stomps was a very immobile target and had already used his gravitic, or not gravitic flux, his kinetic grasp in order, and there was just nothing there to soak it up. As we are moving on to Blizzard World and for our next round, I'm interested to see, because it seems that Marquette wants to play a very bulky, a very hunkered down style of play, while Mono is just going to be there just speeding around. I am a little interested to see something else too, is that we're seeing a lot of zipping around the point from Manoa. We are seeing a lot more mobile comms, as we are gonna. It looks like they are going to be starting out on their attack. So something I'm gonna be a little bit interested on to see here is like Blizzard World is not as open and not as diveable as Oasis is. So I'm gonna be interested to see potentially they're gonna be looking to make the Winston work, potentially seeing if they're also gonna move to their Sigma of their own. But I don't see any reason to change up what was working, especially if Marquette is gonna be sticking on to what they're used to.
Marquette on the defense, so it looks like they're committed to this comp, and Cheese is back on the menu. We see the Torbjorn, we see the Ashe. I think this is a smart play from Marquette, and one thing that you gotta know is that as much as Torb has been memed on in seasons past, especially in Overwatch 1, Torbjorn is actually a very smart pick into Tracer, because that turret, any one headshot and the turret will immediately, if it's in range, take out the Tracer with an insta-kill combo. And of course, the turret is just such a big deterrent for flanking Tracers, and so clearly OneBallOgy was enough of a problem for them to address it directly with a matchup switch.
Dive is going to be made onto Marquette University, as they are going to lose their high ground position, and the turret is going to be taken down for a second time this round. It looks like the Immortality Field from Royal Ranger is going to be taken as well. Marquette is very low in the heals department, and Royal Ranger is not going to be there to make it any better. Stomps is also taken down, as Zippy is going to be zipped past into the next Oblivion, as the healers and the Ashe are going to be pursued. Say dominating on this Sojourn right here, as point A, first cap, goes to Mano.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the big problems that you can land yourself into when you're holding that high ground there on Blizzard World is not rotating fast enough. They saw the storm clouds brewing. Matt Dealer was already posturing up for a dive, but they just did not move out fast enough. And you really want to hold the boat on first point at the backup point, because you can get a big stronghold there, but they just did not rotate fast enough, and they got caught in their rotation, and that just led to University of Hawaii making an easy first cap on Blizzard World.
All right, it looks like there is going to be a lot more pressure being put on the Stomps as the Sigma barrier is going to be taken down. They're forced to back away. Mono is going to be getting a lot of pressure as there's just a massive difference between the amount of distance on the high ground between Mono and Marquette. A lot of pressure is going to be applied by Say as a lot of the shots are going to be shot into that kinetic grass. Say is going to be taking a little bit of a hit there, but he is able to back down anyway. A lot of poking is being there, but Marquette, where are you? The cart is moving. You have the ability to stop the cart, and it looks like they're finally going to make their play of the cart. Reaper from Zipian in order to try and take down that Winston as the Kitsune Rush is going to be used by River God, but Wombology and Matt Dealer just don't seem to care. Wombology is there to clean up. Say is there to clean up. Another team kill from Manoa.
So I can definitely see the idea that they're going for with this composition. They obviously want the Reaper to be as some kind of anti-dive measure, but he's really not going to be able to get much in the poke phase, and that's really what their comp is trying to excel at. Reach, of course, on the hit scan, a little bit curious as to why they didn't stay on the Ash, but regardless, a fight is breaking out in the healthcare room right now, and
Royal Ranger going to be able to get a nice blood drawn from Marquette University as Reaper is trying to trace down a lot of the fighting on Wombology there. Zippy is doing his best in order, but Tracer is just too slippery of a target to make it out. We do see the Gravitic Flux online for Stomps as he is looking to potentially get a nice cleanup. Gonna want to make sure that Suzu is used first before he does, so the Kiriko doesn't clean it up, but the Rock is going to be taken on the Math Dealer. Looks like the Overclock is going to be used as Math Dealer jumps into the background and pops that nice Primal Rage. And it looks like Zippy is going to be taken out before he gets the nice Death Blossom. Say he's going to be taking a bit of a drink into the pits of the Blizzard World as well. But Wombology and Matt Dealer are just going to be there to clean up. The Royal Ranger's going to be jumping on, trying to take his Ranger, reach for the sky. His Stomps are being put a lot of pressure on as everyone from Marquette is taken down as the cart inches forward closer and closer to the Diablo section of the map.
I mean, right now their composition, it's kind of backfiring on them a little bit. They don't really have someone who can directly deal with the point contention that's going on right now, and
it looks like someone there is going to try to make it as the Roadhog pick from Stomps is there to take out Mouth Dealer. Wombology taking a bit of hit as the Hanzo switch is also there to apply a lot more pressure and potentially one-shot abilities as we are potentially seeing the Dance of Death being made by Zippy, but I think Manoa is just going to be backing up a little bit to wait for their next spot. Zay is going to be trying to get a nice cheeky pick onto the Reaper as nice overclock is going to be climbing up, 45 energy on the clock. But it looks like it's just going to be taken down a little bit. A lot of different positions are going to be made as the Hanzo is going to potentially look for a nice cheeky pick. Squid is falling very low, however. Manoa is still in a very good position as Zippy is stunned and in the kill feed and taken out. Wombology trying to go for a nice sneaky back cap, but Matt Dealer on the move is just going to be there to just punch around and make everyone's night a living hell.
Death Blossom. Death Blossom had to be big there, but unfortunately, I mean, when they're running the Doomfist, what a timely switch for them. It's just so difficult to get any value. Just
and
to say that.
Death Blossom doesn't get anything in the bank as Banana Luffy and Sayer there to clean up Zippy and Squid. Stomps is going to try his best in order to make that carry Roadhog play like you see in your ranked games. And Reach for Help is making sure that he is reaching as far as he can. But Stomps without any support and Reach for Help without any support are just not going to be enough. 3 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock for Mono.
That is one of the worst feelings when you are right there on the point. You have a decent health pool. Your Roadhog, you want to stop them from getting onto the point, but you're getting booped from Lucio, and then you're getting punched, and you're taking one CC after another, and then suddenly they're capping, and you're 10 feet away from the point, and you can't do anything about it. That is just an awful, awful feeling.
And remember, Roadhog is not the Giga Hog of Nightmares anymore. He has been thrown into the dumpster. Stomps did his best, and I do agree with the pick. If there is a primal monkey in your face, of course, a nice hook to the face in order to throw them onto the ground is gonna be the best option. But I don't think there was just enough from Marquette to answer back for it. They were doing as much as they can, but Mano is just completely steamrolling them.
And it was, I believe the Doomfist there was a countermeasure to the Roadhog. Of course, Roadhog, it's, I mean, not without his fringe uses, and one of them being to stop really dive-heavy compositions. Wrecking Ball being one of them. Winston, of course, both getting really neutralized by the Roadhog hook and the threat of the hook. But I think it's kind of funny that they're going with the Doomfist swap. I never knew that Doomfist was that huge of a counter to Roadhog. Of course, you can cancel his take a breather with the punch, but also, I mean, if you get hooked in, you can immediately go for the power block, and you didn't even have to waste a cooldown to get right in their face. You're already there. You charge the power punch, and then you have both cooldowns to just wreak some havoc on their backline. So interesting strategy, but it's working out for Matt Dealer right now as he's deciding to stick with it on this defense.
What do we see the best way to stop a meat hook is? With a gigantic rocket fist, and what's the way to stop a rolling around hamster is also with a rocket fist. The Hammond is going to be rolling onto the point as Stomps is trying to make sure he is a nuisance for sure. Reach for help, also swapping onto the Sojourn himself and having a bit of a beer comp just with a little bit of lit as Zippy is going to be taking down one Apology. And looks like Marquette is going to be trying to do their best, but Say is there to send Zippy back home, saying nope, Zippy's is only a Hawaii thing. No one needs to get onto the point. Reach for help is going to be doing his best in order to stake his claim on the point, but that punch, I was not kidding. The best way to counter a giant hamster is with a punch. Reach for help though. He's going to make sure that he's going to do everything he can to silence that gigantic rocket beating fist. He ain't no one punch man, does not have the one punch man skin on. Reach for help is doing his best in order to fire as much into the charge, but there isn't a whole lot you can do if you're only going to be pumping into that Winston. Stomp is going to be doing as best of a job as he can in order to displace the Winston around the point, but there is going to be needing more of an answer. Winston is not Winston. Doomfist is finally taken down around the point as the mines are going to be there to block Mono as Stomps is finally answering the thing that he comes for. Stomps is stomping on the point to make sure Marquette is going to have a say on Blizzard World.
Yeah, just like his namesake there, and it was really going to be coming down. I was curious to see which team. Yeah, that is maybe a bit of an ego booster of a pick right there as we kind of transition into this next fight. They're going to actually try to engage early while they have the man advantage. Marquette trying to play aggressively, but it's going to come back to bite. Stomps are going to be down, and that means that so much of this scouting and posturing phase is going to be cut short, and the Tracer ball combo is not really going to get the positioning that they want. I mean, that's crucial time. You really don't want to be going into the fight blind if you are a Tracer and ball combo. You want to be able to engage together, and right now Stomp's trying to go in without their Tracer. I don't know if that is advisable, but let's see if it works out for him.
A lot of pressure is also being put onto Reach as he is looking at the bomb from the Bombology, is not able to make any plays on this time. Looks like a nice punch is going to be made onto Reach for help to potentially take him out, but that immortality field is there to protect him. The nice aerial punch from the sky is going to be there to potentially slow them down, but almost falling off the map there for Matt Dealer there. Say has a bit of a high ground advantage there as he is going to be putting a lot of pressure into Marquette University. Stomps is going to try and roll his way out of there. It's very slow, taking down. Bombology is going to be there for the cleanup, but now that there's no more Wrecking Ball on the point, they're going to have a free Say. River God, though, is going to be able to take down Zippy. Reach for help is going to make sure that he is not going to be there on silent. Matt Dealer is putting a lot of pressure onto Reach for help as he's taking down from the back by River God. A lot of pressure is being put onto Matt Dealer from the Wrecking Ball, but he's just going to be able to slip right past there. More respawns coming in from Marquette.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just stuffing this choke so well, and I see this Wrecking Ball is just going straight over the front line when you really, at this point, they're putting so much pressure on the front line that the Wrecking Ball and Tracer really have no choice but to try and posture for a really wide flank, and by the time they set up there, I mean, no matter how fast Tracer and Ball are, they're just exerting so much pressure, and they're pushing their backline while their Tracer is trying to reposition. Wrecking Ball Mine's going to try to buy them a little bit of space, but University of Hawaii not going to take that line down.
And look at how much pressure is going to be reapplied back from Monoa. Banana Lumpia did use that nice sound barrier in the fight, trying to get a bit more damage, potentially counter all those Wrecking Ball mines, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do much for either team. Looks like we are going to see that nice window being used out from Royal Ranger, as there is going to be a lot of pressure being put onto there. The Kitsune rush from Mono is going to be there to answer back in time, clear him off the point. Stomps is going to be rolling around as best as he can, but he is taking a bit of a beating from the back. Say is going to be there to answer with his mystery man. No head for Cassidy. But as we do see a lot of Matt Dealer is going to be back into a corner trying to figure out those chemical equations in the background. But Zippy is going to be there to take down Say with that nice pulse bomb as River God is there to answer back with his own kunai to the face. Banana Lumpia taking on Royal Rangers. Reach for help is reaching for the stars and would take sure that Banana Lumpia is not going to be able to provide more healing. But Womology is there just to answer back. Reach for help is going to be reaching back for the point as the rest of the Marquette is sent back to spawn.
Yeah, and this choke point is just going to be really tough for them to crack. I mean, Marquette, they have to set up with this Tracer and Ball, and it looks like they're setting up to do so right now, but this high ground, I mean, it's going to be really difficult to take. Engagement with the mines doesn't look like they trap anyone inside of it, but it might buy them just a little bit of space. Let's see what they make of it.
It is definitely going to be clearing off Marquette, making sure Marquette has dominance over the high ground that Noah can, as a lot of pressure is going to be applied onto Banana Lumpia from the Wrecking Ball, but it seems that Wrecking Ball is just not really sure where he needs to engage. The rest of the team seems to be a little all over the place. Tark is going to be moving down to be moving faster to the StarCraft stage, but it does seem that the aerial strike is going to be used from Matt Dealer in order to make sure that Manoa stays alive. Royal Ranger, though, is taking a bit of a beating from the Tracer in the back there, taken out finally by River God as Say is there to clean up Zippy and send him zipping back to the spawn. It looks like a nice bit of damage is going to be done onto them, but the nice Deadeye is used to potentially take down Stomps. Stomps is going to try his best, but he cannot roll out of a Deadeye.
Yeah, Say kind of flexing their power a little bit right now, playing Mystery Heroes, and it's working to great effect right now. 3 ultimates online for the University of Hawaii, and Marquette, they're looking to build 3 of their own, but I don't know what exactly they're going to be able to do. Baptiste, a little bit of a sticking out like a sore thumb in terms of this composition here, but let's see what they can do with this window that's coming up very soon.
A lot of pressure is going to be applied as the window is now taken into full effect. Amplification Matrix is not going to be enough to help Zippy in order to take down Womology. Womology is just too slippery of a target as the Reach for Help is able to finally take him out, but the Kitsune Rush is answered back in turn from River God, making sure to try to keeping everyone on the point as best they can. Squid is going to use his own, but the sound barrier is going to be there in order to keep them alive. Reach for Help with the overclock to do as much damage as he can, but going through that nice sound barrier, it's going to be really difficult. Say is going to be able to take him down with that magnetic grenade as a punch is going to be sent into the back of Royal Ranger, and then that other support of Squid. Mines on the field in order to separate Matt Dealer from the rest of his team. Zippy is going to be there to take down Say, but to take down Banana Lumpia, but Say is there to respond back to Zippy instead. Meteor Strike is going to be downed in order to take out Royal Ranger, as he is also going to take down Squid. And it looks like Stomps is going to do his best to continue rolling around the point, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do a whole lot. Manoa, dominance again on Blizzard World.
Lazals, I hope you are watching. This is what Pika Doomfist looks like. Marquette not able to crack the second point on Blizzard World, and I have to question what the Baptiste pick was. Perhaps just a comfort pick, but of course, running Baptiste, it's really difficult to run with Wrecking Ball. Great play to open up point 1, but it was all for naught, unfortunately. Stomps trying to make it work with the Wrecking Ball, but it seemed like they were just having a difficult time soloing out a target on the side of Manoa. It's really difficult with the comp that they were running to really zero in on a target. I mean, you can try Kiriko, you can try Lucio, but they both have just so many escape options and so much peel for each other and themselves that a Tracer Wrecking Ball, it can be scary, but so is a Doomfist charging your backline, and so by the time they get one, they're able to at least trade one and then some with interest. So.
And also keep in mind, what do we normally see whenever we see the Wrecking Ball comps? We usually see a Zenyatta with them. I can understand potentially not wanting to go with that Zenyatta pick because Wombology was there just the entire time in the background. But I feel like that lack of Discord was really the key thing that stopped Stomp from getting a lot of the nice crucial picks he needed. Keep in mind of how many targets were taken down to 25%, 20%, sometimes even 1. And they just were not able to finish it off because there was just not enough damage coming out from the Wrecking Ball alone. It was a good effort from Stomp. I really liked the Wrecking Ball play. There just was not enough support in the back. I'm really interested to see if they're going to try to shake things up a little bit as we go into Esperanza, but I'm not sure what more is going to need to be done.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, Tracer and a Ball, they might not always take out a Lucio, but Tracer Ball and a Discord Orb, yeah, that will take out a Lucio. And that level of coordination, I mean, we saw a lot of well-coordinated plays between the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball, but they just need a little bit more to open up that first fight. But like we see, I mean, both Wombology and Say are really good at mid-fight, at getting mid-fight value. Very good at target focusing and just making sure that they can match each pick with one of their own. We saw every time that Wombology was going on a flank and getting taken out, Say was at least trading one, if not more, for their troubles. And they made it so that every time they get a pick, they're at least trading one more and then some. So great stuff from the DPS of University of Hawaii. Of course, on that second point, when it looked like it started to go Marquette's way, a really crucial tempo-winning ultimate from Banana Lumpia. Sound barrier just keeping everyone alive, and that was able to that was able to stall them out until Marquette was just out of gas. And looks like we're going on a very interesting comp, but it's definitely
well, you know the old adage, Clark. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you're in Wisconsin, might as well try some cheese, right? At this point, if you're Marquette, I feel like anything is going to be necessary in order to keep yourself alive, as you are down 2-0. You're going to be seeing a Roadhog pick out from Stomps with Say, and the Tracer from Wombology are going to be there to provide a lot of pressure and a lot of damage onto the Roadhog. We are going to be seeing just a little bit of a dance around the corners, as the bot is going to be able to get this first little tick of percentage out from Marquette. Punch is going to be there as a lot of damage is put onto Stomp. The Bastion too, keep in mind, the Bastion is going to be there to take down and as best he can onto that Doomfist. And the Maywall too, completely shutting down Matt Dealer. Like we said, when in Wisconsin, go get yourself some cheese. We are going to be seeing a lot of pressure put onto River God, but also the Bastion there is just going to be there to put in a lot of damage as Banana is going to slip away as fast as he can. We are going to be seeing
opening pick, but
we are going to be seeing just a little bit of a switch too. Bomb is going to be shot out from Zippy on here in order to try and zip his way onto getting that Lucio pick. Are going to be seeing a bit of a compositional swap too. Matt Dealer swapping onto the Joker Queen. In the background, we also do see Wombology making a stick onto Zippy. Zippy taken down. Wombology is going to be trying to do his best in case of cleanup, but Say is going to make sure Squid is not there to try any support, as Breach is going to take down Wombology. And I don't know if that's the right time in order to use that amplification matrix, as the nice duplicate is going to be used onto the Roadhog to try and keep Manoa keeping that tempo into the point. 300 HP on there, as he is going to be taken very low, but they are just going to be taken down still and ever so. The Blizzard is used to take as much as they can. Reach for Help is going to be there. Reach for Help is going to be able to take up Banana Lumpia, as the nice Pole Hog is going to be there to provide as much damage as we can. But it looks like there is going to be a bit more of a cleanup from Manoa.
And it looks like what their strategy is. I mean, if we look at the picks on the side of Marquette, they are running a beefy lineup right now. I mean, the base health just on May and Bastion alone, I think each are running 250. And plus the Baptiste, plus the Mercy. I mean, University of Hawaii is still able to eventually take full control and get the first uncontested progress here. But my goodness, did it take them a long time. 2.5 minutes. I mean, I think that's a decent strategy from Marquette University to just try and outlast on the point as long as possible. I mean, look, if they're out sustaining you, just increase your health pool. I mean, why not? Let's see if they can make it work. But look, honestly, it's looking like a Clockwork Vendetta comp right now, way back in the day. But as we go into our next fight,
look at Wombology in the background taking down Zippy. Zippy is going to be able to be resurrected by Squid, but a lot of pressure is going to be put on. Joker Queen taken down by Reach, and the help of the Roadhog hook. A lot. Now Mono is going to be sent onto the back end. And it looks like Say is going to do his best in order to take a lot more picks. Zippy is going to take down Wombology in the process. And Zippy is going to zip his way forward. Say is going to try to find himself back in Manoa territory. And I think the cheese is going to be able to put them a little bit more on the map.
Yeah, get your crackers ready. I mean, right there we saw it. I mean, try taking it, like, if you're having trouble taking out 5 VP heroes, try 6 with the Resurrect and the Whole Hog.
And the Whole Hog stays.
Unfortunately.
Say is going to be there to answer it back with this nice support from the Amplification Matrix getting launched with a Bastion copy from the Echo. If we can have cheese, if you can eat your cheese in Wisconsin, we can eat it over here in Manoa too. Say is going to be there to clean up the supports as we a nice pick from Madula to finish off Royal Ranger. That pick from the Echo on the duplicated Bastion. Enough to keep Manoa in the lead.
And you know, we saw Manoa last week. They were kind of struggling with these push fights that were going back and forth, and of course this has been back and forth so far. But if they're able to get this first checkpoint, that could spell trouble for Marquette University. And there they are going to get the forward spawns enabled. But just as I say that, Stomps takes out Banana Lupia, so let's see if they can turn this around. But the respawns are definitely going to be in faster.
Rampage does hit 2 though, as we do see Stomps being a lot of pressure put onto them, but Matt Dealer is not there to take out the damage from that Bastion. River God is going to be taken down. Zippy
what a hook!
With a nice hook into the air. Stomps is making sure he stomps the competition. He is making sure he's stomping around with them big Roadhog feet to keep Marquette alive.
And I know we've been talking about cheese, but that is absolutely by no means disrespect to these players right here. I mean, this isn't just some fluky composition. They are going to have to deliver each individually as they're playing each fight, and hopefully we can see them turn that around in this next fight. They trade picks, so let's see how this goes.
Matt Dealer was taken out first, but Stomp is there to take out one ball. GSA and back in turn. A lot of pressure though is going to be put onto Reach from the Echo, as he and the Junker Queen are going to be there to take down Squid with the help of Banana Lupia. Matt Dealer taking down Reach for help of Zippy is going to be there to try and take out as many, but a lone Bastion no longer having his healing from Overwatch 1 is just not going to be enough. Manoa going to be able to get full response.
And that's why that first checkpoint is so crucial. I mean, we saw they were able to contest on, I mean, basically before they were even able to get to their barricade, and that's just going to be the name of the game for the rest of this map. Even if Manoa does lose a fight or 2 here and there, they're going to be back in time to contest first.
The
copy onto the Bastion.
Copy onto the Bastion as the May ult is used by Marquette University. Stomps is going to be taking so much damage as Morphology is there to answer with an overclock in order to take down some potential Mercy. Mercy is going to be able to res Stomps, but I don't think Stomps is going to be able to do enough. Stomps forced into the back as Manoa is going to be continuing to push the bot.
And there's so much burst damage on the side of University of Hawaii. They have both the Sojourn and they have the Echo, both the assassin type DPSs. They can do a lot of burst damage very quickly, and that's really going to help them on taking out these bigger health pool targets, and of course forcing out those crucial cooldowns like your Resurrect, like your Take a Breather.
Royal Ranger with a crucial pick onto Matt Dealer and silencing out that Rampage. Looks like Marquette is going to be pushing the ball back more into their own, more into the middle of the field there. A lot of pressure is going to be put down to the Say in the sky over there, as Marquette is going to be marching the ball back forward. But keep in mind, Manoa still has those forward spawns, and what do we see answering them on their doorstep? We see the full might of Manoa. Kiriko is going to be there on the sideline in order to put a little pressure, as Marquette is going to be once again to deny them their forward spawns. We are going to be seeing a bit of a altercation on the point. Kitsune Rush is used, but Roadhog is going to be there to say, get out of these gates, get out of these arches, no Kitsune for you. Kitsune Rush is going to be able to have a nice block, but Say is going to be there with a lot of extra pressure. Looks like Zippy is going to do his best to use that orbital strike from the Bastion in order to do a lot more damage, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Stomps, however, is going to be silencing Wombology, making him go back to Wumbo school, and it looks like a lot more pressure is going on a nice pull with the Kiriko, but enough damage in order to take him out in the end, as a lot of pressure is going to be reapplied by Marquette. Junker Queen is going to follow suit, as it looks like they're marching closer and closer to Say who's guarding that point B.
The little extra help that they're getting on from these picks, I mean, is giving them just enough sustain to finally start capitalizing on these picks that they're getting, and they get the cap for it. And it looks like they're going to be on the Manoa's going to be on the back foot now, and so let's see if they can finally close that gap.
Keep in mind, though, there are a lot of ultimates coming online, and as I say that the Roadhog pick is going to be made, Say is not going to be able to answer it, though, as the duplicated Roadhog is taken out quickly. Zippy is there to take out Wombology, as a lot of damage is being put onto Stomps and to Zippy, but Royal Ranger and Squid are just there to answer back in turn, as the Blizzard is used. Rampage is also used by Matthew, and it does reach onto Reach, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to stop that Blizzard. A lot of damage is going to be also applied as the Lucio is trapped at the bus stop. Looks like Say there is going to be able to take out Royal Ranger and Squid. Wombology answering back against Stomp as a lot more damage is being put onto Marquette. Marquette, they did make a very good push, getting 85 meters onto the point, but they're going to be marching back towards their own middle ground.
What a heads-up play there from Matt Dealer, by the way. I mean, forced into a really awkward position where the Blizzard was going off at their feet, and he had to decide either to go deeper into the back line or get frozen by the Mei ult, instead choosing to use the Rampage just to get out of the way. Not really picking up any anti-targets, but able to escape with their lives, and they're going to turn around this point and stop the forward spawns from Marquette.
It looks like there is going to be one last clash, as 30 seconds are left onto the clock. Marquette doing their best in order to stay in the point. Stomp is going to be there to put a lot of pressure onto Wombology, but Wombology activates that overclock. A lot of damage is going to be put onto the Zippy as the consuming rush is used by River God in order to take it on more. Zippy is going to be taken down before he can get his ultimate out. A Soldier is be putting just so much damage as River God is there to take down Squid, even though he did resurrect Zippy in the process. River God is going to be there to take in a lot of damage from the Roadhog. The Roadhog is just not able to finish it off instead. Reach for help is going to be there. Oh no! Oh.
Just when it looked like Marquette was going to be turning that fight around, they forgot the golden rule. Never take your feet off the point. Say going to pick up a play of the game to add a little insult to injury. Marquette University, just as it looked like they were going to be turning it around for that map, unfortunately, they are not going to be picking up their first W of the season this week, but despite a valiant effort from Marquette University, University of Hawaii are going to pick up the win with a clean 3-0 sweep.
And we did see Marquette a little silent in the first two maps, but it was really on that Esperanza that they were able to do just a little bit of cheesing onto Manoa, and Manoa was caught off guard just a little bit, but it looks like in the end they were able to finally just take out everything. I really do appreciate the nice play by Marquette. When your back is against the wall, when all hope seems lost, you need to reach deep down into your pockets to see what you got. Throw a bit of pocket sand out into the face if you really need to. And it seemed like they were able to do as much as they could. But in the end, Marquette is still going to be searching for their first win. And Manoa is going to be reaching now to, I believe, a 4-1 record.
Yeah, and it's a solid record for them. They are going to also increase their map differential to, I believe, +9. So a great showing from University of Hawaii, and another win under the belts for them. And you know, we have to wonder. I mean, if Marquette started on that Roadhog comp, on the really tanky big health pool comp, you got to wonder if maybe the extra two maps, if they had started off there, they could have gotten their stride and really adjusted and made adjustments to that comp. But of course, that would give University of Hawaii time to adjust as well. But you know, maybe if they refine that comp, they can really make some great plays, as we saw towards the end of Esperanza there. A little bit unfortunate for how it ended, but a great match nonetheless.
Let's give it up for Marquette for putting out the stops, and also give it up for our players
Absolutely.
on Manoa. This is a pretty good match, and I was pretty excited to see this. I'm looking forward to see a little bit more in the EGF season. Me personally, I've been Enan Reshram, and I'm very glad once again to be casting with you, Clark. Any final says?
Likewise.
Any final say for the rest of the match?
I think I'm just looking forward to see what the University of Hawaii has in store for future weeks. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, I've been lit.gif, and we are signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Enjoy the cheese.